Hello, this is Marcella Grindy. I am going to speak about designing differentiated instructions. There is 13 categories that are part of IDEA, and I will be speaking about 5 of them. Well, 4 of them are in the categories, and there is one that is connected at times. So the first one I'm going to speak about is autism. So a description of is neurodevelopmental disorder that hinders a person how they communicate. They could have repetition of certain actions, like things that they like and their interests and what they do in their behaviors, or doing the same activities. How it affects academically, the student may want to be doing that one activity that they like or what they want to choose, and instead of doing other tasks that they are not interested in. They may be interested for just a little bit of time, and then they move on to the next thing. They work, you need to work on their social skills because they can't catch those social cues that some others might give them, and it's hard for them to focus on what they choose to do or speak about from others. Their communication skills, they have difficulty speaking and may not even speak at all. So next one is speech or language impairment. This description, communication disorder that may create struggles in how the words are formed and said with the person's mouth. So this can affect them academically because the student may have trouble in pronouncing certain words, or how they say certain letters or sounds that they can make. The student may stutter when they speak and not know how to control their voice, so the volume can go up and down, or when they're trying to talk to other people, they can't control how they have their voice, and even how to express themselves. In their communication skills, they have a hard time getting their ideas out to others, and they have a hard time understanding what is happening and feel like everything is jumbled up for them. For deaf or hard of hearing, there are different levels of deafness in which a person may not hear at all to maybe hearing some. Some can hear the sounds or barely hear what is being said. Some might even use cochlear implants. That way they can hear some sounds, but it's not everyone. So how it is affected academically, the student may have trouble following along what is being said in the classroom because they may not be able to see what the teacher is doing because they're facing the wrong way, or maybe they don't have maybe their own language of ASL, or can't read the lips, so they don't get everything that is happening, so it's hard for them to follow the instruction. And when they are with other peers, they might have trouble communicating with others because they don't know sign language, or maybe it's hard for them because maybe they don't know how to write, so they have trouble communicating with each other. And so that also affects how they communicate their ideas, and maybe the student or someone won't get to hear what the others are saying, or they might speak too fast, so they don't get to communicate. And then we have gifted and creative and talented. So this is the one that can be connected with other disabilities, because some of them may be high in their abilities and how they read, do math, perform arts, science, or their creativity. They can score very high in testing and show outstanding amount of intelligence in certain areas. This can affect them academically, because a student may not show their abilities and look like they're not doing well. They may not show that they actually know, but they could be maybe bored because they already know how to do it, and they need to be challenged more. So some students may be overlooked by their abilities, like because of their background or their gender, and they can be socially affected and their communication skills as well, because they might be seen and then they need to go to they might go to a higher level, like a different grade, and then they can have trouble connecting with the older students. So that hinders their social emotional development, because then they don't get that same peer interaction as they might have when they're in the other grade. And with their communication skills, maybe they feel a disconnection with some of their peers. And they just don't know how they can connect as well. And lastly, specific learning disability. This is where there can be other disabilities that disrupt how a person may form their thoughts, how they read, how they spell, and the way they hear, or even how they do numbers. There are some disabilities like dyslexia or even auditory processing. This can affect them academically, because a student may be nervous to read out loud, or when it's time to write, it's hard for them to convey their ideas, because it's hard for them to write because everything is jumbled as they write down. So maybe they think there's a certain way to write it, and it's a different way than the way it actually is. So socially, they may have difficulties in speaking with others, and that what they want to say or hearing what the other person saying might be jumbled. It might take a person a bit to see what the other person said, and hard for them to answer right away, because they might take a bit of time to process what is being said. So they just might need more time. And that's where some students may have extra time when they do testing. So differentiated instruction, I picked autism. One way can have student task cards for them to visually see what they need to do. Then they can have pictures connected to help them in the process. They can then work with a partner who can help them as a guide as they work together. For number 2, the students can use different senses as they do their lesson. They can hear an audio book with headphones on their iPad, and then follow along as they're doing their work. They can even have actual items, like maybe even make a puppet to tell the story. And the third can be students can use their own interests to answer a question, like making a book or using a drawing they made or even creating collage. So something that they can express themselves in a way that caters to what they are interested, and maybe they can have that engagement as well. And these are the references, and thank you.